So for years, I drove past the PGA of America. It's on the way to my store in Frisco, Texas. And I'll just quietly pray and wish that one day I hope I can display something in here. It could be cake, cupcakes, cookies, whatever. So I will drive by it for the past 3 years now. But the first year was the most important part because I will just drive by it, hoping and wishing that I'll have an event there. But PGA is a big deal. It's like home of golf, and I've always driven by and just wished that one day I would be able to cater for the PGA. And last year I got an email, and at first I thought it was a scam. I really did, because I was like, oh no, this is not real. But I got the second email and I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. So I did, and I went through the interview process. I went through all the sessions and all the information sessions, and I became a preferred vendor for the PGA, right? So the PGA, they admire creativity. They want to keep businesses that are local to the events because they build a lot. So every PGA event, like the KPMG Women's Championship, will be in Maryland this year. So if you're in Maryland, please do apply. They prefer locally, like local vendors, right? So if you're local to any city where they're having the championships, they would like to use your services. I got an opportunity to attend the VendorMatch program yesterday as a preferred vendor of the PGA, and I was able to display fruits and at a fruit display, chocolate fountains and dessert cookies and cakes and things like that. So that was really amazing. I met some amazing business owners and some awesome vendors. And this is where VendorMatch is where the PGA tells you about their intentions regarding the next championships, right? So please apply. The website to apply is go.pga.vendormatch. That's where you apply. Now, you might think the PGA is so big, billion-dollar company. Where am I going to start from? It doesn't really matter your size. So granted, I know there are 200,000 people coming to Dallas, for example, next year for the PGA tournament here in Frisco, Texas. So if you're local to Dallas, it's time to go apply. Go to pga.vendormatch. You need to apply no matter what kind of business you are, as long as it's in the 23 categories I'm about to tell you about. Please do register. I'm going to give you an idea. So basically audiovisual services, so video, camera, photography, things like that, catering and concession. I heard that in another city, a lady that makes pies, gotten her as one of the vendors, and she couldn't make all the pies. Obviously, there's a lot of people, but she got like local vendors and they made all the pies together and they fulfilled the order, which is what's most important, right? I also heard about someone that made energy bars or something like that, protein bars for the players. So you don't have to cater to the entire, 20,000 people that come daily. There's 7 days in a championship. Here there's one in Florida, there's one in Maryland, and there's the mid-championship here in Frisco, Texas. So the PGA tries to, again, get local vendors. They really do try to keep the money locally because there's a lot of tourists, right? And there's a lot of expenses. They build out everything. They hire for everything, from parking. I'll go through the list in a second again. So audiovisual, photography, video, catering. Catering is big. So if you make barbecue sauce, you make barbecue ribs, you make any kind of donut. There was a donut vendor that was that niched down to in one of the cities. Only serve a member group within the PGA. So you don't have to serve everybody. So don't think 200,000 people or 20,000 people. Think, depending on what you're doing. Like, let's say you're doing the street signs, for example. Maybe you can be like, okay, I'm doing it for the entire PGA. Do you get what I mean? So there's catering services. Maybe you do ice cream. Maybe you do pies. You do donuts. You do barbecue, cakes, cookies, food, whatever services, hot dogs, energy bars. I met a vendor yesterday. I met a vendor that does popcorn, 30 different types of popcorn. So she's going to apply. I also met a vendor that does milkshakes, energy milkshakes or protein milkshakes. That would work very well for the players as well. Do you understand? So you should apply. So moving on, cleaning services, laundry services, a lot of towels, there's a lot of linen, there's a lot of hosting that happens during the PGA tournament. So please do apply. Again, apply for Dallas locals, Texas locals, Houston, Austin, wherever you are in the Texas area, you can apply, but it's going to be here in Frisco, Texas. Also, if you're in all the other cities that are having it, like Maryland is hosting the KPMG Women's Championship, and then the KitchenAid Seniors Championship will be in Florida. All of this is in 2027, not this year, next year. So you should know that. Also, cooling services, ice and things like that. Drinks is included in. So if you make any kind of cool drinks, so the PGA is also open to innovation. So if you have a product that's not necessarily, like if you go on the website, you're like, my set product or my set service is not listed, please still choose the other option. So I'm not sure when it was, but there was a time where they didn't have like the fire protection category for kitchen related vendors, and a company, like a business applied and they created the category. So right now it's there. So if your category or your niche does not, it's not there, and you feel like it will be innovative enough that the PGA wants to bring it on board for the championship, please do apply. All right, electrician services, so electrical works and things like that. Equipment, truck rental. So rental companies in general, the PGA rents a lot of things locally, like linens, maybe furniture, so many types of furniture. I'm going to get to florists in a second. They said in one of the championships, somebody that makes flowers rented their plants. So they'll bring the plants and they'll take the plants away. Cool idea. Very, eco-friendly, green option. Do you understand? There's also florists at the championship. So if you're a florist, if you're a caterer, everybody thinks food when they think this camp is beyond that. Okay. So equipment, truck rentals, fire protection services, floral and landscape. So if you have a landscape business, all entrepreneurs local to Dallas should still apply. And just give it a shot. Like, what do you have to lose? Your business might be more ready than you are. You don't know, so please give it a shot. Don't worry about the size of it. Just still give it a shot. There's freight, there's furniture rentals, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of furniture. Think all these thousands of people, they're going to need stuff, right? And if you're in the niche gifting, merchandising, printing services, branded products, like things like that, apply. You could print things for them. Ice merchandisers, laundry and linen service. So at the vendor match yesterday, a lot of people asked questions about the laundry and linen services. I mean, there's a lot of towels to wash and there's all of the tables to cover with fabric and things like that. A lot of events happen during the PGA, like hosting internal, things like that. So lodging, obviously, hospitality is the biggest one. The Omni is also at the PGA, but I'm sure they need other hotels, other lodging facilities and things like that. So if you provide those kinds of services, lodging related, please apply. Again, the website is go.pga.vendormatch. Okay. Lumber, a lot of buildings, so wood services. All right. Photography, security. So audiovisuals was in the beginning, but this one is separate. Photography is separate. So if you're a photographer of any kind, I have a friend that's worked with the PGA before and took headshots of the staff. So I currently I'm a preferred vendor for the PGA of Frisco right now, but I'm still going to apply for the PGA Championship. Do you see what I mean? So please, whatever you do and you're local to Dallas, I mean, it's right here. You have nothing to lose. It takes like 5 minutes to register. And security guard services, signage and printing, any kind of printing services. They have a ton of stuff to print, right? And they love local vendors. So give it a shot. Staffing, concierge services, event services, any kind of staffing services that you provide, please do apply. Now, there's also I think there's a job fair related type of stuff that the PGA have if you need an actual job with the PGA. There's also volunteer services. So if you want to volunteer at the PGA Championship, there's also that opportunity. But this one is particularly for vendors that will be matched, so like subcontractors that will be matched with prime contractors. Do you understand what I mean? Signage and printing, staffing, tenting and scaffolding, right? Scaffolding is a big deal. Tenting is a lot of tent. It's hot in Texas, and the games are outdoors, so tenting and scaffolding, if you're an entrepreneur in this field, please do register. Traffic control and road signage. We met a lady yesterday that has actually worked with the PGA for traffic control and road signage in the past. So that was a good testimony. Transportation of people, any kind of transportation services, you need to apply. Just give it a shot. Like, you have nothing to lose. You're just going to apply. They're looking for diverse vendors. They're looking for creative vendors. They're looking for innovative ideas, and there's nothing to lose, right? So let's see, transportation and other. So other is very important. They did talk about it. If you have any business that is not listed, still do apply and explain the service. And you never know, the PGA might need your service and be able to reach out to me. So I'll do another version if you need more explanation on any part of it. But remember, it's pretty easy. It's a really quick process. The website is go.pga.vendormatch. I wish you guys all the best. Have a good day. Ciao.